There is this mother who traveled once to a far country, and before traveling, she gave her ATM card to her child, just in case. And then she added a book to this child and told this child, the solutions to every problem you would face while I'm away is inside this book. When this mother returned, the child was very angry and said, "Mommy, I was hungry. The landlord came and was chasing us out of the house because we couldn't pay the rent. You didn't leave us with any money." And the mother said, "Oh, but I left you with this book and I told you the solution to all your problems while I'm away is inside this book." The mother opened the book and showed right inside the book the code to that ATM card. Could it be that our children are missing out on some important opportunities in life because they don't read?
When the verb is in the present, what does it mean?
It's happening right now.
And when it's past, what does it mean?
It's already happened.
Okay. Milo, your turn.
Look, look, looking, and look.
Good boy.
Meet Desiree Fogan, a mother of 4, who is willing to share her experience of how she's building this reading culture amongst her children. Hi Desiree.
Hi, Chancier.
You're welcome to Chancier's Haven. We are happy to have you here today.
It's my pleasure.
I've realized that many children nowadays don't have this culture of reading. They don't just read spontaneously. They don't want to, when they can pass through a book and not even look at it. I don't know what is happening, but I want to find out at what age should a child start reading? Can we start building this reading culture in our children?
Reading culture in children can begin when a child is able to recognize the alphabet, especially the vowel sounds.
Okay.
So when a child is able to recognize the vowel sounds and pronounce them correctly, then it's time to begin developing the reading culture.
So I know children of that age don't have a good, they can't sit in one place for long. So how do you do it?
Reading is something which is spontaneous. With children that are little, let me say about the age of 5 or below 5, let me say we can have children who are not able to talk by 3 or 4. So, but if a child is able to talk, let's say a 5-year-old child, we must understand that at that age, a child can stay put for more than 20 minutes. And so at that age, it's going to be done in bits, in little bits of time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. It just depends on your child.
Okay. Now I just want to find out, why is it important even for a child to develop this reading culture? Because maybe when we also know why, it could help the parents or it could help the children to actually develop the culture, the reading culture. Why is it important?
Oh, it's very important for a child to be able to read, for a child to develop a reading culture. In reading, we normally say readers are leaders.
Okay.
And in reading, you would learn societal skills. You learn important things that will help in your development.
Okay.
In reading, a child will be able to know and better prepare for the society. There is nothing like a child when it's faced with a problem in a society and the child is not yet ready, or the child doesn't know what to do with that problem. So in reading, you will discover most of that.
Okay, so in reading helps the child to face the society better, changing our society one family at a time. Okay, there is this family. We'll be right back. Let's just see this family of this lady, wonderful lady, who is working on developing this reading culture amongst the children. Let's take a look and see what this lady has to show.
When the verb is in the present, what does it mean?
It's happening right now.
And when it's past, what does it mean?
It's It's already happened.
Okay. Milo, your turn.
Look, look, looking and look.
Good boy. I have two boys, 5.5-year-old and 6 going on 7. We didn't have any strict reading timetable at home, but one thing the boys know is that it is inadmissible that they spend an entire day without going through their books or, reading their Bible. We have sessions where they read by themselves. Then they have other sessions where they read with me or with their dad. Usually a much more relaxed setting where play is allowed, and this is just for them to know that it's okay to have fun when you read. Now, once they're done with their reading, we have an evaluation session with them. This is an opportunity for us to assess their comprehension of the story, and we ask them to recount the story to us. We get to find out what they disliked about the story, Thankfully, their schools give parents reading journals, which enable us to keep track of the progress they're making every day as they read. Another thing which I believe has been very fundamental in developing their ability to read is the fact that at an early age, before 2, I started teaching them how to spell words. That's without looking at the words, but then just listening to the phonics, learning the sounds that letters make to form the words and being able to spell the word. Whenever you gave them a book, even if it was a book that they'd never seen or a story they'd never listened to, they were able to read this because in it they would find words that they had learned how to spell. And we have continued this. We call it our spelling bee time. I believe is very important, and it's something that as parents we should do, not only focus on trying to get them to read, but also teach them how to spell. If you're not able to spell what you're reading, how are you supposed to know what those words are? So for me, one doesn't go without the other. While we're teaching them how to read, we should ensure that we've taught them how to spell first.
Okay, Desiree, looking at this video we just watched, we realized that I discovered this mother is learned. This mother went to school from the way she's trying to work with her children. What about a mother who didn't have that opportunity to have been educated in her time? But she would like her child to read. She would like her child to love to read books. How do we develop this culture? How does that kind of a mother develop that culture in the children?
It is true, some mothers didn't have the opportunity, or some parents didn't have the opportunity to know how to read, okay? But we can still develop the reading culture in the children. For example, a child who comes back from school, it's important for the mother to ask the child, what did you learn today in school? Or you buy a biscuit for the child and you ask the child, what is written on the packet of the biscuit?
Oh.
So the child should be able to tell you, for example, the child should be able to tell you, if you take this biscuit, par le jeu biscuit, it says on the packet it's 18 grams. It is made up of sugars, eatable vegetable fats, ammonium bicarbonate. And you just want the child to be able to read. And any time is possible for the child to read. So if you buy biscuits, if you're passing by a sign, just ask the child, what is written there? Can you say it for me? If it's a parent then can read and the child is not able to read, the child should be able to say out the sounds. Okay, so I can find the sounds written there. And then if it's a parent that can read, you would help the child pronounce the word. But if it's a parent that cannot read, sometimes you can go up to the child's teacher. There's no harm in that. And you tell the child's teacher, please, can you help me? I have this challenge. And the child's teacher will be able to help you and give you progress.
Okay, thank you very much, Dave. There is this other aspect where for those parents who are just listening now, they haven't thought of this reading culture in their children. And they would like the children to read. The children have passed that age where you say they should start teaching them, or all of that. They are older and it's difficult. You want to bring them to read, and it's not easy. What do I do? What would this kind of parents do with those children?
With those children, it is important you begin by letting the child know the importance of reading.
Okay.
And so when the child knows the importance of reading, then the child would get to read. Because when the children are little, you can tell them, sit down, pick up this book, do this, do that, and the child will do it. But if you pass that stage, then you can go now to the next stage, which is much more of dialogue, and let the child know the importance of reading.
Okay, letting the child know the importance of reading. This takes me to this movie I watched, Gifted Hands, where the mother of Ben Carson came once to the house and turned off the TV and told them you can't spend your time watching TV, and that if you spend your time reading books, tomorrow others will spend their time watching you on TV. And when I got that, it was very important. That's a good one there. Now you are a mother of 4, and 4 boys at that.
Yes.
You are an entrepreneur, you're a businesswoman.
Yes.
You are a teacher.
Yes.
And you are a Christian who is committed in her church as well.
Yes.
That means you are a woman who doesn't have a lot of spare time, as I would put it in quotes. How do you manage all of these to get your children to read? Because I have had that opportunity of being around your kids. They have this reading culture in them. Maybe you want to help some mother or some father out there or some guardian about how they can build all of these people who are so busy.
Life is really challenging, and we've gone past the days where you could just sit at home and have the pleasure of being just a mother. Right now you have a lot that you have to do. It's important that you develop the aspect of a time. You develop the aspect of what do you do at what time. And it's important that you develop a means of checking if what has been done, if what was supposed to be done has been done.
Okay.
So in my case, I have a kind of a timetable. So we have when we pray, when we play, when we read, when we take a nap. So all of that is important. So along that, we now have a reading time. And reading must not necessarily be formal, like we sit down along a table. We have that also. But even when we sit around, and even when they are helping me out in the kitchen, we can still read. Somebody can read aloud, or somebody can tell me about what they read.
Child upbringing is really, really challenging sometimes. It's a sacrifice. Reading to some children is like a nightmare. They don't like it. So parents have to go around to make them develop that culture. I remember the story of this auntie who usually come around to see her nephews. She would bring a biscuit and ask the nephews to read what is on it before they eat. So this day she came along with something else. She brought cookie, and the nephews were so happy because they don't have to read. There's nothing, no label on the cookie, so they didn't have to read. They just had to swallow the cookie, eat it all up. So that is where I realized reading to children, to some children, is a challenge. It's difficult. They don't like it. The interest is not there. And guests, Desiree, you told us that another aspect is to make the children understand the benefits of reading, to know the importance of reading to them. I feel that even to some parents, the parents too should know how important they are helping the children to develop this culture can be to them. So what are some of these benefits reading has on the children and even the parents?
Reading in a child, it would help the child develop the child's vocabulary. Reading makes the child wise, and reading makes the child to develop self-esteem.
Okay.
And so reading is very important in the life of a child. It's important that the child develops.
And to the parent, is it important
culture
for the parent to get the child develop this reading culture?
Oh yes, it's important for the parent to get the parents to help the child develop a reading culture. It makes the parent a fulfilled parent.
Okay.
And it makes the parent to be sure that he didn't he didn't fail as far as upbringing is concerned.
Okay,
the
thank you
child.
very much. Okay, that's very interesting. If I could take 2 points from what you've said, we should make reading an interesting part of the children's life and not something too formal or work or something, because they may be afraid and they run away from it. And also, we should have a schedule. We should learn to put a schedule, put time frame on what we do so that we can do follow-up as parents. Ladies and gentlemen, you are on Chancier's Haven, and today we had Desiree Fogan with us. Thank you so much. And I would like to encourage you, father, encourage you, mother, you guardian, who thinks that it's difficult to get your child to develop this reading culture, that one day at a time. You're already doing a great job, so don't get too hard on yourself. Don't compare that child with the neighbor's child, because it's your child and the child is unique to you. So why not get a schedule where you know when to do what? If you're very busy, any time is good time for you and your child to read. And why not make it playful? Why not make it interesting? Sometimes you may even add a reward to it to encourage them and to get them to want to read. And then also, if you can, you read along with them to make it interesting. Let's together build this reading culture in our children. And then we'll have a better family and we'll change this world one family at a time. Remember, leaders are readers. Thank you for watching, and see you some other time on Chancier's Haven. Never forget to leave it better than you met it. Bye-bye.